God help us.
Contrary to what appears like his testimony in front of Congress, specifically with U.S. Senator Rand Paul, Fauci denied funding any gain-of-function experiments. This is when you soup up a virus in a lab and you play war games then against that virus to try to cure the pandemic in your lab that you've just created.
You're saying that that's not gain-of-function research?
According to the framework and guidelines.
So what you're doing is defining away gain-of-function. No. You're simply saying it doesn't exist because you changed the definition on the NIH website.
I grew up in a somewhat tough neighborhood in Brooklyn. The culture is that you didn't get intimidated by a lot of things.
Well, I think the biggest problem is that he has a casual disregard for individual liberty, but he also has a casual disregard for the science as well. You add those together, and it's sort of a recipe for authoritarianism.
When someone attacks, I don't immediately fight back. It's nothing personal, it's strictly business.
Preponderance of evidence now points towards this coming from the lab. And what you've done is change the definition on your website to try to cover your ass, basically.
It's so frustrating when you're used to fixing things and you're just not really fixing anything.
His name is tarnished in history and his reputation is tarnished. I would say his reputation is in tatters.
I don't understand the hate that people have.
These people are really, really getting bad.
And to tie it all together, I'm fairly certain that Anthony Fauci is the highest paid person in the federal government, right? Over 420 grand, if I'm not mistaken.
Fauci, in a nutshell, was paid to prevent the next pandemic. He was paid to prepare the nation for a pandemic. But not only did we get a pandemic, but the nation was not prepared for that pandemic either.
He becomes the size of the challenge he faces each time.
We audited his public calendar, and we found that he gave 354 interviews. Wow. That's an incredible amount of time spent not following the science, but actually functioning as a public affairs officer.
If you're a public servant, you don't do it because you want to make money. You don't do it for the glory. You do it because you care.
Fauci out-earns the President of the United States. He out-earns 4-star generals in the military. He out-earns all roughly 4.3 million federal employees.
When you're involved in a race to stop a horrible disease, you always feel you're not doing things quickly enough.
You won't admit that it's dangerous, and for that lack of judgment, I think it's time that you resign. It's a new virus. That's not gain of function?
According to the definition that is currently operable, Senator, let's make it clear for the people who are listening. The current definition.
Oh, look! My nose! What's happened?
Perhaps you haven't been telling the truth?
Perhaps.